Of the possible. During 6.5 years confined to a Burmese prison cell, the artist Thanh Linh used any materials he could lay his hands on to continue painting in secret and smuggle out the work to the outside world. Instead of brushes, he painted with syringes, bottle tops, even razor blades, and he used sheets and his cellmate sarongs as his canvases. Released in 2004, he married the former British ambassador to Burma and now has his first British exhibition of his smuggled art at Asia House in London. Our arts correspondent Nicholas Glass went to see it.
Of bright, swirling colours, multi-eyed and red-lipped. It's an arresting self-portrait, the more so when you learn how it was done. The artist had no brushes or ready materials and was painting in secret. The self-portrait was done in a prison cell, in a country where any free-thinking person lives in fear and paranoia of the military junta and its spies, Burma. The artist used a syringe to make his lines.
I
can see many eyes in the painting, reflecting my different moods. The multiple lines tell me that I was confused, trapped, blocked. They remind me that I was in prison, that my mind was full of conflicting emotions, that I wasn't free.
Thanh Linh's prison art is unlike anything else from Burma. Vibrant, sometimes abstract, sometimes figurative, sometimes haunting. His story is a remarkable one of survival, artistic spirit and luck. Comic actor, performance artist and painter, at 41 he spent a quarter of his life either hiding in the Burmese jungle or in prison. His story has moved on surprisingly. Suddenly released from prison, he met and married the British ambassador in Burma. They now live in London and are expecting their first child.
To some extent, he had the chance to paint what he wanted. I think a lot of Burmese artists are very much geared towards a market. They get into a groove, they paint monks disappearing into the distance, they paint pictures of houses on stilts, whereas he was totally free in jail. He could paint anything he wanted from his experience because he never perceived that these were going to be sold.
This show at Asia House in central London is called Burma Inside Out. Prisoners squat in some discomfort in a row. Inspected by the guards, they had to do this every morning and night for some hours. Thanh Linh used his fingers to make the images.
When a diver goes underwater, he must have oxygen. It's the same for me. I needed to paint, to draw in prison. It was like oxygen to me. Otherwise, I would have died or gone mad.
Thanh Linh signed and dated everything he did. He was jailed for 6.5 years, falsely accused of planning opposition protests. To paint on, he used bed sheets, or more commonly, lungis or sarongs, worn by fellow prisoners and bartered for cigarettes. As a political prisoner, he also mixed with ordinary criminals. He called this painting, with good reason, Man with Six Fingers.
Labour camps are hellish, much worse than prison. The common criminals sent to work in the camps don't have enough food, and many die of disease. To avoid going, they often cut off fingers. I met many such prisoners. Some had lost 2, some even 3 fingers. I felt and understood their suffering, and I painted this as a record of their lives.
With a little bribery, paintings were smuggled out of prison. Of about 1,000 works, some 200 survive.
There was one group which was sent out with a guard, and unfortunately the guard, having taken his money, then opened up this package and took one look at the paintings, which were abstracts, and said, "These are secret maps, I must destroy them and not get caught with them." So not all of them have survived.
This was Thanh Linh outside prison on the day of his release in 2004. Very thin, but still recognisable from that sunburst smile. Since coming to London, he's been exhilarated to see Francis Bacon's paintings and Damien Hirst's Diamond Skull. He's written about Hirst for Burmese magazines. Thanh Linh doesn't see his own art as political, hopes one day to be able to show it in Burma. although he knows that at this moment that's out of the question.
Nicholas Glass. After the break, the widow of Philip Lawrence admits she's struggling to forgive her husband's killer. But is it always